What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, just gonna have a little look at what I consider to be some of the best releases from Blue Underground and the best releases in my collection that I own. There's going to be lots of other releases people might bring up in this video, in the comments, that I don't own, but we're going to have a look at exactly the best of Blue Underground in my collection. Let's go. The Church. If you saw my Italian horror video, you know that I absolutely love this film. I think it's fantastic. It's this biblical, a demonic horror that is built up as a mystery throughout the film, and then goes absolutely batshit insane at the end. Love this one. Really good. Great acting across the board. The visuals are fantastic. And yeah, I think if you're getting into Italian horror, this is definitely a good starting point, in my opinion. I feel like it's not too weird, because I think some Italian horror can be quite weird. This one's pretty grounded in its storytelling, and it's pretty simple. It's got a great opening in the beginning that is set in the Crusades that I really, really enjoyed. I kind of wish the film kind of remained in that kind of era. But as it stands, the film is still great. And I think it's a really, really good starting point for Italian horror. This Blue Underground DVD looks pretty great. I do really want to get the Severin 4K. This just come out last year. But yeah, this Blu-ray is really, really good. The picture looks great for it being a DVD. DVD gets a lot of hate, which I don't understand. But Blue Underground do great transfers on DVD, and their Blu-rays look amazing as well. So if you can get this DVD for cheap, I recommend this DVD. It's worth a go. It looks good. If you've not seen the film before, it's worth getting a cheap DVD of it, because Blue Underground do great transfers on their DVDs. That's The Church. Next up, we have what I think might be one of the best slasher films ever, and that is The New York Ripper from 1982. Lucio Fulci's only, from what I know, endeavour into the slasher genre. I love this film. I think it's fantastic. I love how uncompromising it is, how brutal and just dirty and dank it feels. You want to have a shower afterwards. You just feel gross afterwards. I really like the reveal of the killer and the killer's motive. It's so unique. I don't think we've had such a creative antagonist as we have with this one. Really, really cool. If you've not seen this film, you've probably heard it just by pop culture obnosis. Follows a hunt for a serial killer who is basically targeting young blonde females and butchering them in horrific ways. And the only clues they have in terms of following this killer is that he's calling up people and the police departments, and he is just leaving very strange phone calls to them in a weird duck voice. That's right, this killer is making duck noises as his way of communicating. It's very strange, but like I say, it's very brutal, very, very, very uncompromising in its violence as well. And in other aspects, like sex and nudity, it's very much on the nose. It doesn't shy away from anything. And yeah, this wouldn't be made today, in my opinion. I think it's too brash of a film to be made today. But I'm glad it exists. I love it. I think it's fantastic. And yeah, definitely a slasher film to check out if you've not. I'm really impressed again by this DVD transfer. It looks pretty great, in my opinion. Sometimes some of these DVD transfers, especially the Blue Underground ones, I do kind of forget their DVD once I'm watching them. They look so good that I am mistaking them for Blu-ray sometimes. It might be because I'm playing them through a 4K player on a 4K television. There might be some upscaling there, but I am really, really surprised by how good these look on DVD. That's The New York Ripper. Next up, we have a horror collaboration from the 90s from two of horror's biggest names. This film is called Two Evil Eyes, and it's a collaboration between Dario Argento and George Romero. Sounds amazing on paper. I'm well up for that. Went into this film really excited to see what they're going to give us. It has two stories on it. It's about 2 hours long, so I think it's about an hour each per story. Enjoyed this one. I thought it was decent. I enjoyed it, right? I didn't love it, unfortunately. I feel like it's a pretty mixed bag. I feel the Romero story has a great concept that I kind of wish went, feature length, because I feel like it had a cool concept and I wish we saw more of it. But the Argento story, unfortunately, had the opposite effect, where I felt like it was a bit dull in places, and I feel like it didn't really get exciting until maybe the last 5 minutes. So it had a very opposite effect. So This is very much a mixed bag. I feel like, I guess it depends who you like more as a director, and their style may kind of push you towards preferring which story here and how it's executed. Based on concept alone, I think the Romero story kind of hits a bit deeper, hits a bit better for me. But overall, I still think it's worth a watch. For a 90s collaboration by horror's two biggest names at the time, it's definitely worth a watch. But it didn't hit as hard as I wanted it to, unfortunately. But that is Two Evil Eyes. I will say the Blu-ray is fantastic on Blu-ray. By the way, the picture is immense. Don't need to upgrade to 4K in my opinion. The Blu-ray is fantastic. Next up, we have a 70s slasher film. It's billed as the original exploitation movie, and that is the 4K of the Toolbox Murders. This film, I can see what it was trying to do when it came out. It's very much just like nasty and mean and just brutal. And I can understand why it would call itself the first exploitation film. It's very much just, there's not much story there. It's all about the brutality in this film. I enjoyed it though. It's worth a watch for what it is. I didn't love it though. That's the problem. But I do feel it's a decent film to pick up. Even if you can get the DVD of it. Blue Underground do great DVDs, like I said. I think it's worth a watch. The 4K looks fantastic. However, you can tell the film is kind of old at this point, and there is a lot of dirt and grain on the film. But I do feel some people could get kind of enjoyment out of this one. It's like I said, it's really mean, nasty. The first 10 minutes is literally just the killer, just murdering all these people, all these women in particular. Key word there, women. He murders these women in horrific fashion. The story kind of follows, the story kind of kicks off a bit later on, where this girl gets kidnapped, and it's her brother trying to figure out what's going on. I won't go any further than that with the story, but I feel like the film kind of loses its way for me about halfway through, and you don't really get a satisfying conclusion at the end, I feel. I mean, it's fine. I enjoyed it all the way through, but I feel like this film is missing something. Maybe it's because it's one of the first films of its kind in the 70s. Maybe that's why. But yeah, I don't know. I'm glad I own it. I'm glad I gave it a shot. I probably will give it a rewatch. I'm not saying I won't, but I feel like this is a really good 4K from Blue Underground. I want to put it that way. This is the best of Blue Underground in terms of their transfers as well as the movie. I still really like this one. I still really like this. I think this is a really good, really decent movie. Like, it won't blow your socks off, you know. And I feel like we've been spoiled with these kind of movies since the 70s as well. So it's quite quaint by today's standards. I still think it's fairly decent. I'm going to give it a rewatch eventually, because I feel like every film deserves that second shot. And I might enjoy it more on a second watch. You never know with these kind of movies. But yeah, you get what you get what it says on the tin with this. It's an exploitation film. It's mean, it's brutal, it's nasty, and I only really can recommend it on its kind of face value, blood and guts, if that's what you kind of want from these kind of movies. And there is a very, very little story involved. There is story, but it's kind of wafer thin in its writing and stuff, basically. But yeah, The Toolbox Murders, a great 4K from Blue Underground. The film is okay. I enjoy it. It's decent from the time, but it's nothing special in my opinion. I'm looking forward to giving this a rewatch, because my opinion may change, and it's allowed to change in my opinion. But that is The Toolbox Murders. Next up on Blue Underground, one of the best, I think, they've put out, one of the best films they've ever put out in my opinion, Fight for Your Life. I watched this for the first time 2 nights ago, and I thought this was absolutely bloody brilliant. It's just a bleak, nasty, mean as hell home invasion film about these horrible, convicts that escape a police van, and then they go and they wreak havoc, and they get to this family's house and they just hold them hostage, but they make them do horrific things to them. And The reason why this film is so notorious as well, it is a notorious movie, is that it was on the 1980 Video Nasties list. And it only got on that list solely based on its racist language and racist themes. If you are offended by racist language, and you should be because it's horrible, this film may put you on unease there. It's very vile, the language in this, and how the antagonist kind of portrays his hatred towards this black family. This, humble, this humble family that have done nothing wrong. They're just wonderful people, and these convicts come in, and they treat them like they're the worst people ever. It's horrendous how this family is treated in this film. If you can get over the racist themes and the racist language in this is one of the greatest home invasion films I've ever seen. It is incredibly well acted, immensely well acted. The tension is at an all-time high. You absolutely despise the antagonists. They are absolutely the bottom of the barrel filth you can ever meet in a film. I absolutely could not wait for them to get their, comeuppance, as they say. I could not wait for it. And you kind of knew, basically the title was there, Fight for Your Life. You know it's coming when this Turner family eventually have enough and they take back control of their home. And it is just the most fist pumping, just exciting third act in a home invasion film for me. And I loved every minute of this film. I thought it was fantastic. Like I said though, with that warning there, it has very strong themes of racism, and that could really put people off. And I totally understand if it does, but if you can get over that part of the film, I think you're going to be in for an absolute treat, because this film is fantastic, and seeing this family overcome these people is so satisfying, absolutely satisfying to the core. I have sad news if you would like to get this on any other media in terms of upgrading it to Blu-ray or 4K. This film, unfortunately, will never get a Blu-ray release. This was sadly, the original elements were sadly destroyed during a hurricane, unfortunately. So this film, it will be forever trapped on DVD. So if you can find this, if you're interested in this film in whatsoever, grab this while you can on Blue Underground DVD, because it's fantastic. Just want to give a big shout out to my friend Nigel from Rock God 2004 for recommending this film to me, because I'm up for, I love my home invasion films. I love my kind of, revenge films, and this kind of ticks both those boxes in a way. And it's just great. Absolutely fantastic movie. It's a 9 out of 10 for me. I love it. I really recommend it to everybody. But like I said, I can't stress this enough. If you cannot handle the language and the themes of this film, then if it's going to upset you, I recommend you don't watch this movie, because it is hardcore. It is offensive to the core. But like I said, it's just so good. It's so well acted. It's well performed. There is an insane shock value. It's shock value. The shock factor is all over this movie. It really is. I won't go into why, but obviously the racism in there is one reason, but there's other reasons as well. It is stuff that happens in this film is horrific, and like I said, because it's so horrific, and because the family in this film has been treated so poorly, when they do rise up and they do decide to fight back, it is the most satisfying thing ever. This movie is fantastic. That's Fight for Your Life. Next up, we have Dead and Buried. I love this movie. When it comes to 80s horror, I think this is the most unique 80s horror film we've ever had. I don't think it's really been matched since then. It's just so unique and so well done and so well crafted. It's really cool. It's about this little village, and when newcomers come to the village, they mysteriously disappear and they've been murdered. And it's about this policeman trying to figure out what the fuck is going on and why people are dying. It's really well done. I love this lenticular slip as well. Blue Underground started doing these lenticular slips. This might be one of the best Blue Underground releases ever. There is one more that I think is the best. but this might be one of the best releases they've ever done. I love how the case looks on this. It's not your traditional 4K release. It's more kind of beefy. It's just value for money, in my opinion, guys. Value for money here. Awesome. This sequence is in the beginning of the film. They burn this man alive, and it's horrific violence in this as well. This film is great. It's a great mystery. You follow this cop. You're trying to figure out what's going on, and it's such a unique premise. It's, the premise isn't unique, but the actual, the reveal of this whole mystery in this film, it's so different. It's so unique. It's so creative. I don't think we've had anything quite like this film ever since. It stands on its own as a true original horror for me. And yeah, I love it. And this 4K is amazing. Pick this up if you can. I think it's still fairly available. I'm not sure what the price point is on this at the moment. I paid about £40 for this. I think it's out of print from the Blue Underground website, but I feel like they are still on eBay, but I don't know if they're still asking those high prices. They could still be asking for those high prices, but I paid £40 for this. I don't regret it whatsoever, because you get the Blu-ray, the 4K, and the soundtrack as well. So it's fantastic. It's such a good package, and like I said, you get this awesome lenticular slip. But yeah, get this film, check it out, pick up the Blu-ray if you can, because the Blu-ray still, I'm sure, looks amazing as well. That is Dead and Buried, one of the 80s most unique horror films. It's awesome. The final film in this video that I'm going to talk about might be my favourite 70s film of all time. This film absolutely blew me away at how good it is, and I absolutely adore it. That is the 4K of God Told Me To. This film is absolutely breathtakingly good. It's horror in the most boiled down, self-reflecting sense. It is just terrifying. Larry Cohen directed this. He did an amazing job. The 4K is unbelievable as well by Blue Underground, an absolutely essential 4K to get. If you can get this on the cheap, pick it up. As hopefully you can get the slip with it as well. But get this release, guys. Get it. It's so good. This film is amazing. 10 out of 10. Perfect. Full marks. Perfect movie for me. Tells a tale of these random murders happening. These random people that seem just to be random, pedestrians committing horrible acts of murder. Random family people committing horrible acts of murder. Police officers that are decent people that don't do nothing bad ever, randomly just kill for no reason. And whenever the police ask them, why did you do this? They answer the phrase, God told me to. And it's kind of this weird kind of mystery horror that deals with religion and self-existence and, do you truly know who you are and why you're here? It's a very deep-seated film with a lot of questions. It answers maybe a few of them, and it doesn't answer a lot, but it's just this very kind of just engaging, engrossing, intriguing mystery of a horror film that just blew me away. I can't go into any more detail on that, but there is some moments in this where my hair stood up, basically stood on end. It made the hair on my back of my neck stand up. There is some horrible moments, and it's not even the violence in this film is really that bad. It's when you get these moments where the police are interrogating the killer or the killers, because there's multiple people. There's random people killing randomly, right? And there's one sequence in this film, and it's about halfway through the movie, and it is the most harrowing, horrible, scary scene I've seen in a horror film for a long time. And it's not even a horror sequence. It's just the man explaining to this detective why he did what he did. He tells why he did it, and he just seems chilled out, doesn't care, feels kind of happy about it. And it's so horrible. You feel so horrible and sick, and just you feel so uncomfortable. It's just horrific. But yeah, this film is a masterpiece. I think it might be my favourite 70s movie. And that's a big thing to say, guys, as well. 70s movies. There's so many great 70s movies. This might be if it's like, I say favourite, it might be recency bias, right? But it's going to be up there in my top 5 easy, this, guys, for favourite 70s movies. This is one of the best. Holy shit, I'm so glad I got this when I did, and holy shit, I'm glad I've experienced it. Everyone needs to check this out. God told me to. It's an absolute masterpiece. It's a 10 out of 10 film, and it will, hopefully it will get under your skin like it did me. It's more subtle on the horror elements. The horror elements don't come from the violence and the killing. It comes with the people and how they have reacted to doing such an act. It is horrific. It's just I can't describe the vibe of this film. Harrowing would be a word. It does twist. The horror is where, like I said, that sequence, like I told you, where he's explaining why he did it. That's horror to me, right? That sequence. But this film does twist the idea of religion, and do we really know who we are? You know, it's great. It's so good. I will say the kind of the reveal of everything. It may split opinion, in my opinion. I thought it was great. I thought it was really unique and different and completely out of the blue. In terms of like the reveal, not that it didn't earn the reveal, more like it was kind of like, you know, I didn't see it coming. It was planting those seeds, but I'm too dumb to kind of follow the seeds properly and realize what was happening until like right in the third act. But yeah, this film is a masterpiece in my opinion. It's 10 out of 10. I love it. You should all check it out. I implore everybody to pick this up. It's readily available on Blu-ray as well from Blue Underground, so I really highly recommend it. This 4K is a must buy, guys. Honestly, a must buy. Get your hands on it when you can, because it's just, I picked this up on eBay, £36. Maybe people might go, I paid too much for a 4K, but when the film's this good and it looks this good, I don't see the problem paying that for it. I do wholeheartedly believe Blue Underground are doing the best Blu-ray and 4K transfers right now. They are absolutely killing it. I couldn't believe how good some of the Blu-rays I've shown here are, how good they are. Hell, like I said, the DVDs that Blue Underground put out look awesome as well. So go and give Blue Underground some love. Go and pick up some titles from them. I want to see more from them. They haven't put out anything in a while, so I'm really hoping they put something out, that's, you know, something new out that I can jump into and add to the collection. But that is, God told me to. I have got more titles that I've ordered for the collection from Blue Underground. So I'll probably showcase those in a pickups video down the line. But this is, God told me to. It is the best release they've ever done, in my opinion. I don't think it'll be topped. It's awesome. So that's it, guys. That is all of my top picks for the best of Blue Underground in my collection. Obviously, there's going to be loads more titles that have come out from Blue Underground that I do not own. So obviously, I can't include those because this is just from my collection. But yeah, there's loads I want to own. I do have some more Blu-rays on their way that I'm really looking forward to grabbing and stuff like I said. But yeah, that is it, guys. Let me know any and all of your thoughts in the comments down below of any of these films. And let me know, are you a fan of Blue Underground and do you love their titles? Let me know if you've seen God Told Me To, because that film is a bona fide masterpiece in my opinion. But as always, guys, I'll see you next time, I suppose. Bye.